On this channel, I've already compared Webflow to other popular website builders like WordPress or Framer. But how does Webflow compare to something more traditional, like a hard-coded website? So that's why in this video, I'll give my honest opinion on when you should go with Webflow and when should you keep your custom-coded solutions on your website, or which parts of your website should stay completely custom. So let's dive straight into it. My name is Orosh, and I'm the founder and CEO at Flow Ninja. And we're an award-winning enterprise Webflow studio. So looking at that, even though I'm not a real front-end developer, as some would say, I've had a chance to migrate more than hundreds of websites from custom-coded solutions over to Webflow. And from those experiences, I could say that I've noticed when Webflow is really good and when keeping things custom might be a little bit better. And even on our side, I mean, like, we have DataGoat, which is a completely custom platform that we built in React, and we also have our website and even like some of our platforms which are a no-code solution and they're built on Webflow. And there are pros and cons of both of those, and that's why I want to give my honest opinion of how should you approach your next campaign, your next marketing website, or even your business as a whole by integrating Webflow and your custom-coded parts of your website. In order to explain the pros of going with a custom-coded solution, I want to first go over on why would somebody migrate to Webflow. It's usually going to be to reduce costs, to reduce engineering dependency, and to unlock their marketing team. And it's exactly these items that help us understand when going custom is a better approach. If we take a look at some of the examples, like if you have a core part of your product and you just don't want to rely your business on anything third-party, you want to influence everything on your website to own your IP and to own everything, that's where probably going custom is going to make more sense. If you're still scared of relying your business and your business model on a third-party tool like Webflow, yes, going custom is going to be better for you and you're going to get more benefits and more security on your way. Really close to that is like when the amount of custom code we need to go ahead and write in order to migrate something from a custom coded solution over to Webflow is going to require a lot of time, and in the process is probably still going to be really reliant on your engineering team. That's probably where pages like that can stay like on a custom solution. It's not even a problem just because like today we have reverse proxy, so you can still have some of your website pages stay custom and some of the website pages kind of migrate to Webflow, and that's not going to cause any problems in the process. And the final thing is, if you want to have more than 150 static pages or more than 10,000 CMS items at this point, it's probably going to be a little bit cheaper to host your website on a custom solution. I mean, yes, you're gonna need to have more time to kind of develop some of the things. So like you're gonna be using engineering hours and like that's gonna have a cost associated with it. But on the other side, like if you just look at the pure hosting plans, it's probably gonna be cheaper, like even on the business level and all the way to the enterprise level, it's gonna be cheaper to keep your website custom. So it's gonna give you a lot more flexibility, even more than Webflow. You're gonna be owning your IP 100%, and it might be cheaper to run it in the long run if you just take a look at a hosting perspective, not looking at the development hours needed to go ahead and run the website and maintain it to be functional. But there are also going to be cons of having a completely custom solution. And the first one is going to be slower time to market. Publishing anything which is going to be on a custom coded solution is going to take way more time than building it in Webflow. And that's why your marketing teams are probably going to be bogged down and slow down a little bit in their creative ideas, in their marketing campaigns, and in their day-to-day work. And then the next thing that I did not understand until we actually started working with enterprises is that even if companies have resources to do some of those marketing campaigns, they're going to be deprioritized because product is always going to be first. What happened for some of our clients that we worked with is like they send the Jira ticket for like a marketing initiative they want to run, but there's also a huge product initiative. So all the engineering power is always going to be focused completely on the product, and nobody's going to be able to come to the marketing initiatives on their own. Even though, let's say in the ideal scenario, the company has to hire like 5 developers to run the marketing website and they want to help the marketing teams, those things can usually get deprioritized compared to the product, and that's why marketers can sometimes feel bogged down by the entire process. And then the final part is like, even if we take a look at the creative freedom, usually people who are going to be working on like these products and websites are going to be full stack developers. And from my experience, not getting anything wrong, I might just had the worst experience ever. Usually full stack engineers like working on the logic and like solving problems and working on the back end. Whereas the front end part is not so fun for them. So in the process, even though you might have a great design and you might have an incredible engineer, they're probably going to help you build a great back end or whatever. in the process, but they're not going to be focused as much on the front end and how the website looks. Again, talking from our experience, this might not be the case, but this is what we saw from like the cons perspective of going with a custom coded solution. And if we take a look at even one of our clients like Upwork, they've decided to keep their search talent page completely custom instead of migrating it to Webflow. Why did they decide to keep it kind of custom? It's for the same three reasons. It would take their engineering team a lot of time to help us migrate this to Webflow. Afterwards, we would still rely on their engineering team to make this run and to like make any fixes. It would not make sense long term. The final part is like, this is the core of the product and they just don't feel secure. This could be run on Webflow, but in their case, they did not feel secure about running their core IP kind of on Webflow and they wanted to keep it on their own. That's why this is a great example of kind of when you want to might go for something completely custom in the end. And let's move away all the way to the Webflow side. And what are some of the benefits of actually using Webflow? And as described, we're gonna have more flexibility in marketing, we're gonna rely a lot less on engineers, and we're gonna have a much better use of our marketing budgets. So example, Mesh, I mean like, again, talking from our experiences and like our clients, you can even see their testimonials here on the screen, whatever, decided to migrate a website from a completely custom solution all the way to Webflow. And in the process of migrating, they have completely removed the dependencies from their engineering team, so that they can have the same engineers working more on product, and the marketing website is completely owned by the marketing team and of course Flow Ninja, our agency. They've increased their SEO traffic by having more flexibility for the marketing team. They were able to change their positioning many times over, and we've actually done first one build and then a complete rebrand of the website on Webflow because we wanted to see how they should position and how they should position their whole product on the market in the best way possible. And that would just not be possible without the speed of implementing things on Webflow. As an addition to the speed itself, their marketing teams were able to focus just on their jobs. So instead of thinking of, can this be built? How can this be built? Do we have enough resources and whatever? By using Webflow in our studio, they were able to basically just focus on their jobs and not focus on anything else. And if you think about it, marketing people like to think of marketing campaigns, like to think of the strategy, and by using a good tool, you're not gonna be so worried about implementation in the end. And yes, of course, there are gonna be some downsides, and those are completely gonna be dependent on the size of your business. If you want to go with any CMS out there, it's going to come with a cost. First, like the CMS cost, which might be on a day-to-day basis, which might be a little bit more than what you pay for hosting, but that's like 20 bucks here and there. But afterwards, if you really scale, you might need like Webflow Enterprise, Webflow Enterprise Pro, or Webflow Enterprise Lite or something like that. This is just, I guess, like the standard process of any popular tools, like even HubSpot or like anything you see out today. And those prices have a positive ROI effect on the back end, if you ask me, but I know they can be a little bit confusing. And with that, you're probably going to have a cost of migrating your solution from like the custom solution all the way to Webflow. And in the process, you're going to need to work with an agency like ours, like Flow Ninja, or with any of the other experts or freelancers that you can find online. I would say that's probably like one of the biggest downsides, because you're going to unlock a lot of these items for your marketing team. But I think that your business needs to be at a point where unlocking all of these items is going to be justifying the cost of you actually migrating to a completely new solution for your business. If we take a look at a really good example of how one of our past clients used Webflow, is you can go ahead and type in Eucalyptus VC. They're running their whole venture capital on Webflow. So their corporate website and all of their companies are under a single dashboard, and they can probably even leverage a single marketing team for multiple one of these businesses in the end. So by allowing them to use Webflow, they're able to test better, to utilize their marketing budgets in a better way, and in the end to get a better ROI on anything they spend on marketing, because they can test that much more and they can compare how like all of those initiatives are going on every single one of the different businesses. I highly encourage you to go ahead and visit the link down below where I'll be showcasing like the Upwork and also the Eucalyptus example fully transparently, so you can see how do those ideas work and how you can implement them for your business. So that's it. Even though I would really like that you can do everything on Webflow and that you can use kind of these low-code platforms for everything, there's still a place for custom coded solutions, and that's fine. I know that you're probably gonna have questions. So if you have questions around Webflow Enterprise, or if you wanna migrate to Webflow and you're just not sure is that the right fit for you, you can visit the link down below and schedule a call with our team to go ahead and plan your next website migration. And on top of that, you can also visit our latest video about website migrations to see what are those and do you actually need them.